The film opens November 26th, but like right now, let's welcome Jason Sudeikis and Charlie Day.
Yes. All right.
Hello.
When you were taking the first film out, I mean, the success was crazy. You know, $200 million, the film's a huge hit.
Yeah.
Do you think part of that had to do with the way people hate their bosses in a very particular way now because of the income disparity, executive compensation, all this stuff? Or do you think it's more just hard, that people have always hated their bosses?
I think people have always hated their bosses. I mean, Judas was like, yo, that dude is suspect. You know, but
Again, Judas, hey, I'm not your boss.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not your
I got a
boss.
lot of ideas.
I'm
They're
just
going in
saying.
the book. You can
Yeah.
try to put some ideas in. But,
give me a gospel, yo. Matthew. All right.
but get my back, man.
but I think I think so. But then you're playing an armchair quarterback. I think what people really liked was seeing three guys that maybe they liked from their various TV shows add up to one character, and then they like movie stars and Oscar winners and Jennifer Aniston talking about fucking people and stuff like that. Like right?
Yeah.
Like. Let's not be crazy and say that it's based on society's situation that they're like I need a way to I need this satirized immediately, otherwise I'm gonna blow my brains out. There's a good release date, and some of the tent poles that summer didn't do as well as they wanted to.
Yeah, that's a lot of it too.
And it had legs.
Love to shiny colors on the poster.
Yeah, it's all that stuff. Give it up for those geniuses.
People walk towards it. Shiny.
So back to your original. So that was one thing that we thought that they liked, is the three of ours chemistry and the way we sort of played our jazz together. But then also obviously like I said, the other people on that poster, that are all of which that being Jen and Jamie on this poster again. And then because of the success of that first one, both financially and certainly not critics, but like definitely fans, as box office would dictate, they liked seeing we were able to get another double Oscar winner in Christoph Waltz and frickin' Captain Kirk, a bona fide movie star. It's like
I'll segue into our clip there.
Yeah.
The setup for the new movie is they decide to kidnap the son of the head of this big corporation.
After he rips us off for $500,000. I mean, not just
Right.
it all has a dramatic.
He deserved to be kidnapped.
Yeah. Then there's karma payback here.
So let's take a look at that
I'm
first
not
clip.
defending it.
Jason Bateman, ladies and
Yeah, he's
gentlemen.
the funniest.
It still makes me laugh. I saw him do that 20 times.
Yeah,
and
he got me every time.
Every time.
I'm glad I'm not on camera for that.
Are you
'cause-
kidding me with this?
Yeah, he's so
He's
good
the
like
funniest straight man in the world.
I feel like I read scripts and I'll read like a dramatic script and I can kind of get it. and I
Why?
can
Why are
see if
you
it's
reading
good.
scripts?
doing?
What are you doing?
I sneak and I try to see what's coming up
Yeah, that's true.
sometimes.
I get you.
I
Yeah,
do a
I'm
little
with
bit of
you.
that.
that. Sleuthing.
Investigative journalism.
Somebody's pitching me a profile of one of you guys. I
Yeah.
got to see what you're up
Yeah,
to
make
next.
sure.
I love
like
it.
trying to figure it out. And I have so much trouble reading comedy scripts. They don't, because I feel like I can see the drama a little easier than I can see the comedy on the page.
I have trouble reading them too. Yeah, I'm with you.
When you see a scene like this, what does it look like that makes you think, okay, we're in the place now where we can make this movie? It's going to be funny.
Ooh, Charles.
Or
Well,
maybe-
I don't remember where that scene even came from.
You know what we did on this movie was we did a lot of rehearsing and actually just sitting with the writer directors and pitching things. So every scene we'd already talked about it for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
So
Rehearsing sounds has such a weird connotation.
yeah.
It makes it feel like we show up there dressed in like all black,
Yeah.
and we explore the space.
Yeah, with a-
and like
with a skull.
No, we wrote. We sat around a table.
well,
the
you don't
three
want
of
to.
us.
Yeah,
and
we did some writing with them. So
oh, is there a legal implication that
I
I'm?
don't know. I'm just trying to take credit.
I'm not trying to take credit, but Sean and John were there, the credited
Yeah,
writers,
they-
and then they typed it all.
Yeah, they typed
We
it
just
out.
said the words that they typed.
No,
But I mean-
it's true. So with the first movie, we were very. It was a very flexible sort of dialogue with what the words were gonna be.
Yeah, they put you like in a space. So like writing isn't necessarily dialogue, especially in comedies. It's about like building this tension or this situation, the dramatic arc, if you will. And that's probably why it's pretty unenjoyable to watch, because it also gets modified throughout the process of making the film based on who's playing the parts. Like, we didn't know that Christoph Waltz was going to say yes. Not in our wildest dreams would you think, as you're writing this, okay, this is Christoph Waltz. I mean, you hear that, Bill Murray talk about that in interviews all the time, where he's like, if someone writes a movie for me, I won't read it. It's like, we're not Bill Murray by any means. Maybe if you added us up and, multiplied us by like 12, maybe?
I say I'm.
You are Bill Murray.
Just a little bit better.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go.
Enough of this guy.
Yeah. It's like you need the new Bill Murray.
Sure, the newer, smaller. It's like Apple likes to make things smaller and smaller and smaller.
That's right.
There's a value to that.
You're the iMurray.
Sure.
Yeah. And so like we knew what we were doing, and our characters are sort of compartmentalized into three different parts of like the human psyche, almost, if you will. Like, I'm sort of like the id, and Bateman is like the ego, the one deciding between the super ego. He's the last one to come on board, to kill, to quote his line from the first movie, to kill the bitch. Like it's like so if you're going through, that's our stuff. So if you just put us in a situation, then we can sort of figure out what the lines are, and there's not improvising so much as like riffing on the chord that we're supposed to play. Like, so the metaphor is like a fake book, like when you see, and you know music better than me, but if you see, okay, I play a C here, I play this, that's how I play Blackbird. It's like, dun, 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 something like that. Then we just sort of figure out the fingering. In context, that's
we
correct.
fingered both movies.
Yeah.
As a threesome,
Yeah.
you've
To
yeah,
climax,
yeah.
to a third act climax.
Yeah.
And that happens with each part as it's sort of brought in and rolled in, and so it changes throughout each process, both pre-production and the process of actually making the movie, and then a little bit, just tiny bit. At the end of it, if you've done your job right, you've made the editor's job hard by giving him lots of options, and then maybe you add a few jokes in ADR wise. But then you have Sean and John, the directors, putting in like the polish of making it feel like a heist movie in the middle of it, like a Steven Soderbergh movie, like Ocean's 11 style. And that's all after the fact. He was explaining it to us in pre-production. We were all kind of like, yeah, I don't know, man, because he hadn't done that in his previous films.
Yeah.
So then when he shows it to us and we show up and we see the screening of it, we're like, oh, I'll be
Yeah,
darned, there
he
it
does
is.
a great
He did
job
it.
with that.
Yeah. Makes us look cool, like like maybe gets us some auditions for like some Guy Ritchie movie or something. Oh,
Maybe.
we'll see. I haven't received those
Not
emails
holding my
yet.
breath.
Yeah.
It's both a break in and a break out,
Mm-hmm.
and so you've got both of those covered. Do you were certain things harder this time around, or certain things easier? Did you find you hit any roadblocks along the way, or you had
The plot, the logic of the plot was one that, because all of us are a little bit logic cops, especially Jason, Charlie, and I. Like, and I only mean that in the sense of like it has to make sense to us both emotionally, but then also mentally of how they would do what they would do. I remember us, just one person.
I'm just
kind
a
of
big
like,
believer in that. Like, you can have people do the most outrageous things as long as you truly understand why they're doing them.
Yeah.
And
we have the luxury of being able to talk out those plot points among the three of us that you don't maybe get from other films.
Yeah. So it was
and
harder
hopefully
in
it's
the
entertaining.
beginning. In the beginning, we had a lot of long conversations with those guys about how are we going to make a sequel and make it as good as the first one and not fall into those traps. And by the way, for the record, I actually think this movie's better than the first one.
I would too.
But
On the record,
and
yeah.
that's not just me.
And Bateman does too.
Yeah,
we just got done
not
doing
just
press
trying to
for-
sell it.
Yeah.
I think we have a great clip that will show some of that. The clip's hilarious. That we're all in the same room clip.
Okay.
We'll do clip number 2.
Yeah. So that's not the stuff. That's what happens in real life. That's not Steven Soderbergh quite yet. But yeah, that's three dummies trying to do something.
That's the three dumb men trying to do something serious.
Yeah.
It's always funny.
And you've got new villains this time. So we revisit with Spacey.
We
We've
see
got
him for a little
Aniston's
bit.
back.
Yep.
Jamie Foxx is back.
Yep.
And then the new additions are Chris Pine and Christoph Waltz. You want to tell a little bit about their roles in the film?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so they're the guys that we go into business with, and they steal our company from us.
Yeah, they're
from under us.
investors.
And they're great. Christoph's a pretty scary guy. Intimidating
like,
guy.
not scary. Like, he's not big and scary. He's just kind of like...
No. Just, moving, like he lurks around.
Yeah. He has no shadow.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
No, and then once he turns that on and it's directed at you in a scene, it's intimidating.
I think we all got it a little bit from him in the movie. I mean, like the
No, he's a jokester off camera, but they're German jokes, so they're
yeah.
But he's charming, and then that Chris Pine is a pretty talented guy, and I think he borderline steals this movie. He really was great to work with.
He's a real butterface, though.
And yeah. Well, most of that people don't realize is done in the makeup trailer. He comes to set. He's got black eyes like a shark.
Yeah.
They have to sew that hair in thread by thread, but they make him look all right.
They do. It comes together on film.
Yeah, he comes to set looking like the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah. Laughs like him too. Yeah. It's like, oh, Chris, shut up. But yeah, I already sort of touched on it, but it's so flattering when you make this silly thing, and then it does well the first one, and then you get this caliber of people saying, "Yeah, I'll do it." I mean, they got paid, right? They got compensated. We don't know how much. But
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe not. It might have been a Make-A-Wish thing.
I think that they
Who knows?
did. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, something, whatever. However it happens, it happens. But they showed up and they did the work and they did the lines that we gave them, and yeah, we're both really, really funny. Chris has more comedy to carry than Christoph because he plays like the heavy, and you needed someone that could play the heavy as well, if not better, than Spacey, who is like. I mean, that's the movie. That's the spin-off movie I want to see. If not a Motherfucker Jones, like we're gonna do this like the Marvel universe. So Motherfucker gets his own thing. You get an origin story, and then you get Spacey and Waltz. Oh man, just facing each other like that, and it's just one scene, it's them in a diner, like that scene in Heat.
Right.
And it's just the two of them
break
just
each other.
Just
Put them in capes, give them some sort of electric hammer.
perfect.
Yeah, that's what
Writes
people
itself.
want. That's what they want to see.
Should we see that trailer? It's clip 7. No, I don't know.
We do have a Spacey clip.
Do you?
That's our
good.
last clip here. So let's take a look at Spacey.
So we have, one of our big things for the second one was to see the first one wasn't 100% necessary, although that has the 50 states barrel line, which is a line I say in the movie and have an argument with Jason about it being a real saying or not. So there's I would say probably about 5 little Easter eggs in there. So if you know the first movie well, as we did, because we were in it, then there are little things, but by no means is there anything in there that you're like, I don't know what's going on. Pause the movie. I got to go to Wikipedia and see what's up.
Yeah.
So don't feel like you got to do homework before this one.
Yep.
And Aniston's back and after you both this time. She seemed like a lot of people were surprised by the first one, how far she went with the comedy, and people should know she takes it even further in the second one. Were you kind of surprised how game she was to go even kind of more graphic and be a part of the sex addicts?
I don't know. Were you
group?
surprised? I mean, you got to take out of consideration.
I don't know her personally before the movie.
Yeah.
So
the first one certainly was surprising to people. I know that was part of the intent of both casting her and even her decision to do it. I think that's and cool on her to do so. Now, she came up with some of her some of her own lines. She was the more the merrier, and she also had it sort of dialed in as to what Julia would joke about and not joke about. And she's not joking. That's the thing. She's joking because she's an actress in a movie, but the character is dead serious about wanting to bone the living hell out of Charlie's character. It's to a pathological level.
sure.
Yeah. I mean, not that you don't deserve.
What are you saying?
No. Merely that she really means it. That there's no wink whatsoever. We all are seeing the situation and saying that's hilarious that she would want to do that. But Julia,
yeah, no, she believes it. You know why it's not shocking is because when you're there and you hear take one, maybe it's a little like, oh wow, and then take two, you're like, do you think you should go up on cocksucker or go down when you say, and then take 8, you're like, now do you want to assault me from this angle, and then you get bogged down in it, and then you step outside of it, you step away from it, you're like, oh right, that's Jennifer Aniston talking like a sailor, and
I think even sailors would be like, no, we don't.
they're Like, come
maybe
on,
some,
man,
yeah.
it's about time.
Right.
That's
It's like it's about how the common knowledge is that sex scenes aren't sexy. Like it's not shocking to hear someone refer to the male penis as a bomb pop and talking about which color they would go to. That's just good writing. It provides a visual.
And all three of you have had such good chemistry on these movies. Do you find that you have a similar set of comedy influences between the three of you?
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, except one of ours, I think, is actually Jason Bateman. The guy's been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that to him, and I think he's always surprised by that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we're being around the same age. We grew up with certainly the same influences, and being fortunate enough, I think. Did you have cable growing up?
I did not.
You did not. Oh,
I
okay.
did not. No,
David
but I
and
had
did.
friends.
Who did? Yeah, that's close
Yeah,
enough.
so
Yeah.
I would go to their house.
Yeah. Pre-internet, you had to have your
That TV
buddy.
had a big chunky dial.
Yeah.
I'm actually 77 years old.
You look.
Yeah, I
You look great then.
pretty good. Yeah.
But yeah, I would say very much so. Like when we were yet when we were listing our favorites recently, when people would ask us for influences, we had certain overlaps, but I don't know if we all actively chose different people. Like I know, Jason was like, Bill Murray. I mean, I'm in the Eddie Murphy, Chevy Chase camp. You would be Woody Allen, and.
But I'm not gonna. I mean, I made a joke earlier, but Bill Murray's my hero. You
Right,
know, like
right. So
like-
we were just saying different
Yeah.
things to be good interviewees.
Yeah, but
You
we
don't have
all
to do
kind
that
of grew
here.
up watching the same movies and television, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. So yes.
Another long,
Mm-hmm.
slow reply.
Have you had when you're talking about your bosses on set, right? I know you get the question of like, hey, did you have terrible bosses before and all of that? So, but in terms of being on set and working with directors, is there a difference between sort of a good producer boss, bad producer boss, good direct? Like when you're working on a show, say for a long time, what
And you
makes
are
a
the
good
boss.
Yeah, and
You
you are the
actually-
boss.
yeah.
What have you learned from that experience? Are there things you
There's definitely good and bad.
Yeah,
I would
like-
say. Yeah.
don't try to?
I know there's times where we've been good, using Sonny as an example, where we've been good at being a boss, and times where we haven't. Where, I think a good boss really collaborates and communicates, and sometimes you do that well, and then sometimes you don't, and it doesn't work out with whatever employee you're working with. And I'll look back on a few of those circumstances and be like, oh gosh, I wish we'd kind of slowed down and communicated a little bit better. But in terms of me having bad bosses, I haven't had too many experiences
not.
really with that.
Yeah.
I mean, on set or off.
Yeah, definitely a good producer, bad producer. I mean, Christine Vachon, who Killer Films, amazing movies like any of Todd Haynes' movies or Boys Don't Cry. I remember reading her book that a good producer follows the talent, and and he's never said it to me because I'm not allowed to talk to him. But I feel like Lorne Michaels has done the same thing, They usually have, if they have got a good brain in there and their intuition is stronger than the baggage as an artist, then you can usually get something out of an actor, quote unquote, the talent that you can't get from anywhere else because they're literally embodying this thing. Even something as bright and colorful and as broad as Horrible Bosses too. The worst producers that I would ever have ever worked with and would advise anyone to not and for the rest of my lives have been someone that takes people's hard work and then try to change what it is for their benefit, for their whether it be ego or their taste, and that's really heartbreaking to see, and you hear about that every now and then, and that would be a bad boss and someone that's worth being kidnapped and killed. Yeah.
Get to work on that.
Yeah.
And we'll do some questions.
Hi. Well, actually, first I want to say I was fortunate enough to see Horrible Bosses 2 last week. Incredible movie. It was easily the funniest movie of the year.
Thank you.
And
And we're in November, so that's saying something. If this was January 3rd, I'd be like, yeah, all right.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, I've never heard laughing like in that one. I've got two questions. One, was the one scene that you if there's one scene that you had to pick from, what was the hardest to get through without laughing? And also, when you read a screenplay, what do you look for in it? Because Jason, I have a screenplay here for you. That I
Well, there you
wrote
go.
for
Well, that's the start. That it's an actual thing. That's literally the hardest part. So good on you for. I know a lot of people and have a lot of friends, even very talented people that haven't had the. I'll say it, the balls to actually sit down and actually finally type it up. So I think that's awesome. So that's on your side of things,
I
that's the
second
hardest
that.
part. Yeah, right. I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of people are writers. What have you written? Well,
I got this idea.
yeah, you've written something, so that's awesome. The hardest scene for me, in my opinion, was when, and again, you saw a little bit of it, is when we are cracking the plot for how we're going to handle the drop, because that's what we surmise in the movie. That's when most people get caught in movies. We reference other movies in there, and you had Charlie and Jason and I getting to act like action heroes with like sweeping camera shots, again, something you would see in Ocean's 11. And we would, I mean, you'll see it in the bloopers of the film. Charlie unfortunately gets pigeonholed or picked on a little bit.
I couldn't get through it.
What was the line? Do you remember?
It was some line like that was supposed to be serious,
Yeah.
where it was like, he goes to the car. And
Yeah.
these guys just would not.
We're off
stop
camera,
laughing
just like
at me.
laughing every time he's trying to be an action star. Meanwhile, Chris Pine nailed it.
Yeah.
Like we're just like, oh.
These two wouldn't take me
Prick.
seriously, so
We didn't take ourselves seriously,
No,
but you had a real hard time.
I didn't take myself seriously.
No,
I couldn't
none
get
of
through
us
it.
did.
So I actually asked them to go to lunch, and then came back and shot it with the director with you two guys.
Which we
down in
didn't
the
know
room.
about until
Yeah.
about a week ago. He told us this
It
story.
was just
'cause
one
people were
line. I
asking
couldn't
us.
say it if you
Yeah.
guys were around.
Because we're
Just
like
get
we're
rid of
behind
it.
there going.
Yeah.
And I'm like running my iPhone, trying to like get pictures of him, or like video of him just breaking.
Yeah.
And so it's not a funny scene at all.
If
but
I ever
it's-
do a drama, I won't invite you.
to the premiere,
I'll invite you to the premiere.
I'll take it.
Big fans of the animation movies. You've been Monsters University, Lego Movie, and Epic. Note to Charlie, I love Pacific Rim. That was one of my favorite movies of 2013.
Thank
so,
you.
Just want to know, what was your experiences like in all those movies, and for the animation ones for both of you, what was it like being at Blue Sky Studios and Pixar, and what were John Lasseter, Idris Elba, Josh Hutcherson, and Chris Pratt from your point of view? And the other part is for this movie, is Christoph Waltz better in this one than in Inglourious Bastards?
Thanks.
We'll start with the last question. I'll start answer the last one. Yes.
See, I was going to say no.
Oh.
That's art. That is art. Yeah.
Well, I would say thank you for the compliments on Pacific Rim and Monsters University and Lego. I can take complete and total credit for all of that.
Liar.
No,
How is it up there at Pixar? I've never been. I have a
It's-
sweatshirt.
It's exciting, you know.
Yeah, I
There's you go to like one of the animators' rooms, and there's like a head that you push and a bookshelf that opens.
I
and,
love that
You know,
stuff.
you go into like a tiny room, and
Yeah.
you see pictures of Tom Hanks where he's signed the wall, and
Yeah.
and you know that really people that I really admire, Lasseter, Jobs, that have walked through that place. It's an exciting place to be.
Yeah, Blue Sky was the same way. When I got to, they show you like a picture of what the character looks like, and then I sort of tried to. I played this this father who's like a kind of a mad scientist, a little bit of a goofball who has this estranged relationship with his daughter because everybody thinks he's crazy because he thinks there's little people that live in the trees. There are, not in real life, I don't think, but they show you a picture of it. So then you try to then you're kind of looking at it, and for me, coming from like an improv background, I love that stuff because it's just like the days of Second City where I'm getting a suggestion, except I'm getting a suggestion from an incredibly talented artist and storyboard editor. And so then you're just kind of like, okay, well, how does this voice? Well, he's a lot thinner than me, so I feel like his voice would be like a little bit like up here. And then you're kind of like, you see that he's bumbling, so then you add like he's just got a million like thoughts in his head, and then you just sort of start unraveling it, and then they just give you multiple trials at it, and then they start crafting the character a little bit, like kind of like when you write for an actor up here that you didn't know was going to be cast. They start crafting it towards idiosyncrasies that you have, maybe the way you gesticulate or the way you would make a choice within the line, and then it becomes an extension of you and sound totally different. And now having, Charlie's got a son, a little bit older than mine. I have a son. My whole goal, though, is to not show my kid the movies where I'm a voice in, because I don't want him to think that's what it's like. Like I want him to see like your movies first, so he knows that like Dad's not in every movie. Like it's not like it's it's a surprise and special that I happen to
He
be
won't
in this
connect
thing.
the dots. My kid
He
has
won't?
no. He has an art from Monsters.
Yeah.
Because they gave me a bunch of like toys and it talks. You
Right.
know, it's just like I can't go back to jail.
But
or
it's your
whatever.
voice?
It's my voice, and he's like, oh, that's interesting. You know, like, he doesn't connect.
Do you do
the
a
two.
different voice? I haven't seen Monsters University. Is it different than your
I
own?
can't do a different voice if I listen to this.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's what they pay for.
No, I thought I did, and then I saw it. I'm like, that's just my voice.
Oh, I didn't
Idris
meet
is
any of those
wonderful.
guys. I haven't met any of them. I didn't meet Josh or anybody. You do it in a
never
room
met
all by
Josh.
yourself.
Idris is a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
Hi, my questions are for Charlie. I'm a huge Always Sunny fan,
right.
like forever. And I was wondering how it was, like you play Charlie Kelly, who relentlessly pursues the waitress, and in this movie you get the flip side of that, where you have Jennifer Aniston jumping on you. And I was wondering how that dynamic, like how it's fun to switch that. Also, we see more of Dr. Newt because I was him for Comic-Con.
You were Dr. Newt?
Yes.
Let me take a little look at this.
How'd she do? How's
That's pretty
the
good.
cats.
Unless you got the scars and the tie. I really didn't think about that with the difference between Charlie, you know, his desire for the waitress and Jen's desire for Dale.
Julia's
Julia,
desire? Yeah.
thank you, thank you. Jen's desire for Charlie.
Here he goes.
They're
This is
off to
acting,
dreamland.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess it was nice. Nice, you know, 10 years of playing someone that repulses women. You know, it was nice just to get a little to get it the other way.
Shows you have range.
Yeah, right.
Question
You
on
know?
this.
Alright. First of all, I just wanted to really say thanks because I have a serious medical condition, and I was really feeling down, and then I found Horrible Bosses a while ago, and I've seen it like probably 20 times since, and it always just lifts me up, and I've got some big stuff going on tomorrow. Don't know if it's good, don't know if it's bad, so I always just watch the movie, and I just wanted to say thanks for making it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So first for my question, I was just wondering, when you made the movie, did you ever, like, there were a lot of comedies, but did you ever see it becoming such a big cult following that it would attract children, it would attract everybody?
I didn't see it attracting children.
I did. How old are you?
14.
Yeah. See,
Yeah,
like,
that's passable.
See,
That's
like,
all
yeah,
right.
like
That's all right.
I went to go see Beverly Hills Cop when I was 9.
Yeah.
So like,
I know people who've seen it who are like 8, 10.
yeah. And they're all in prison, right?
It's
All those.
like, yeah.
All the yeah, isn't that crazy?
I didn't. No, I didn't.
I love it. I mean,
Yeah,
I love the 1st
I'll
half of your
take it.
question. That means the world to us. It
Same
really
here.
does. It like I wish you the best of luck with
Me too.
everything tomorrow. And know that those people usually, for the most part, know what they're doing. So good on you for getting out there. But like, the fact that I love it. I love that little kids, like 14 to 8, go see things where we say shit, piss, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I love it because
It's how I learned to be a man.
Yeah, really. I was
Yeah.
the oldest. I had 2 younger sisters, and my older brother, was Michael Keaton and Bill Murray and all the guys that were Eddie Murphy. It was TV, it was movies, and it whatever trouble you're going through, it gets better. Like that's just not just for
Yeah.
the things that phrase is usually reserved for. It's literally everything. Like you can, it's fun. It's fun. Like the further you go, it'll be fun.
Thanks. And I was wondering if you could please sign this
No way,
for
dude.
me.
No way. No way. For $40, you give me $40. No, of course.
Thanks everybody for coming. The film opens November 26th. Bring your 8-year-old.
Bring all of